come from a musical family, and both of my brothers had a band together, like in the early 80s. And I used to just hear them play all the time, and the stuff I hear my brother play on drums, I would like fall asleep to like listen to the radio, and I'd put like, it's a weird thing, but I'd take like my ear, put it to the mattress, and then take one hand and you have the, you know how you have the metal railing on the bed. Well, I'd play on that, so you get like this metallic sound there, and then when you play on the mattress and you put your ear to it, it sounds like a bass drum. So you got that, you know, that kind of sound. So I would try to play what I was hearing on the radio and what I was hearing my brother play. And one day I finally got up the courage to sneak, go downstairs and play on his kit. And he just let me have it. He said, "Get off my drum set." So I had to right around that time, that's when people started making drum machines and stuff like that, a Lindrum and all of that. And so I was get my oldest brother, who plays sax, flute, and piano. He gave me a RX-11 Yamaha drum machine. And so I was like, man, what is that? I don't want this. You know, I want a drum set. So I went to take it to a store, actually to trade it for a drum set, a snare or something. And the guy laughed at me, "Man, you're not getting anything for this rubbish." You know. So but there was a guy there that wanted my machine, and so we traded, and he had an HR-16B from Elise's. So I started working with that, and you know, setting the metronome, click, 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 put one beat in at a time. That became frustrating. So then I finally started trying to play a whole pattern, a whole groove. So that's how I started developing grooves for different styles of music, for Afro-Cuban stuff, for Brazilian stuff, for funk, for jazz, you know, straight ahead, odd meter stuff, you know, world beat and so on, blues. Well, I have, I normally play 2 rows of 8, but I've just started playing this recently. So I have the kick drum at the back, at the first bottom row. Then I've got a snare drum here. Then I've got another one here, which I normally use for roughs. Then I've got just the closed hi-hat sound, and I've got the open hi-hat, which I've got on a group with the foot switch so that it closes it. You know, normally I have that for the splash open hi-hat, but I got to change the note. And then what I have here with the pin, sometimes I put a China there, sometimes I put another crash or something. And at the top left, sometimes I'll have the 12 tom there, or I might have a cowbell there. And then I'll have the 10 tom normally there, but actually it's backwards now. Normally I have the 12 tom here, then the 10 here, then another crash there, then the ride, stick ride sound, and then the bell of the ride there, and then the floor tom. But that's just one setup. And normally I take a foot switch and then I do program changes to switch to another drum set, and I replace the main snare pad for a side stick pad. first thing that I realized about, you know, not really trying to come up with something, but something just naturally evolved, was that when I play with sticks, you know, my hands basically, you know, I have a certain way of holding the sticks, which is very similar, you know, match grip, when I just play with 2 fingers. See? Very similar, right? So what I did was I just practiced the rudiments. Single stroke, double stroke, paradiddle, or single paradiddle, double, you know, flam, you know, and so on. Different rudiments. So rough. So that's basically what I did, like on one pad first. Then I started just playing like the most simple beat there is, which is like, say, the beat to like Billie Jean. Not that the groove is simple, but the actual notation, playing the notes. So just eighth notes or even quarter notes on the hi-hat. And then 1 and 3 on the kick, 2 and 4 on the snare, you know. You know, or of course this is a different technique right now. What I'm doing, I'm playing the snare with my right thumb, as opposed to this. And sometimes when I want to play the snare, I play, you know, quarter notes with the kick. I'll just use like my right thumb. So there's a lot of different techniques, but that's the basic thing. And yeah, and then many other things for when I'm doing rolls. So, but that's the basic. And then, of course, it's different when you want to have that accent with the hat, you know. And so on. So. Toontrack. I was just surfing the web, and I was featured on YouTube January 11th, 2007. And there were a few companies that saw the video that approached me, that wanted me to become an endorsee for them and do some things, work together. And when I heard about EZDrummer, just being online and checking out some demos and hearing some sounds, and when I heard the sounds, man, I said, that's it, man, I gotta check these cats out. And you know, when you have a relationship with a company like that, sometimes people want to work with a bigger company, because that could perhaps mean a bigger budget or whatever, more exposure and all that. But what I found with Toontrack, the guys at Toontrack, is just, it's been like a really family atmosphere, and the relationship has been very mutual. And even though in the beginning, before EZDrummer, before you guys came out with EZDrummer, you had like Superior Drummer, the first version of it, which was also killing everything that was out in the market that I heard. You guys have constantly come out with titles that are just like, that fit various different genres and so many other things. So it's been a really great thing. So. Yeah. Jazz SDX from Toontrack. Incredible, man.